these guys. Now, so examples. Now, so intermediate operations. Now, what so these are common intermediate operations. Okay. Now, these do not run the code. Okay. These do not run the code. Okay. The code does not run until it hits a terminal operation. Okay. So now, as far as I know, these are the only intermediate operations. There isn't that many. Okay. So this is the list. So the list is as follows: filter, map, or map is not what you think it does, flat map, distinct, or distinct is exactly what you think it does, sorted, peak, which you've already seen, limit, which we've already seen, and skip. And skip does exactly what you think it does. If there's a certain condition met, then skip it. It's the exact opposite to filter. All right. Filter means only have these in your list. Skip means don't have these in your list. So filter and skip are opposites. Map. Map is for changing from one stream type to another stream type. So you could have a stream of strings, you'll change it to a stream of integers. So you can imagine a situation there, you have a stream of strings, you want to count how many letters are in each string. So you convert from a stream of strings to a stream of integers. Flat map. Flat map is for, I can't remember. Okay, I'll know it when I come to it. Distinct is what it says in the tin. If you've got duplicates, distinct remove duplicates. Remember before when we were doing, we were getting 5 random numbers. We couldn't guarantee that those 5 random numbers would be the same. Well, a way to make sure they're random is to do distinct. Okay. Sorted means it sorts them in an order. Now, they have to be either using something called a comparator, or the objects of the class have to implement the comparable interface. Peek allows us to peek into the stream, and it's not a terminal operation. The only other way to peek into the stream is to use a for each, but a for each is a terminal operation, and that closes the stream. Okay, so but peek does not close the stream. Limit. So if generate and iterate will produce infinite streams. So this allows you to limit it to a certain amount of streams. Or if you're taking 100 records, this can limit it to 5 records or whatever. Skip is the opposite of filter. Okay. Do not include these in your list. Okay. Now, most of these, thankfully, are easier. Terminal operations are difficult. These are easier. All right. Now, and we still have we still have 3 other chapters. The next chapter is then about combining both of them. All right, so I'm going to focus here on intermediate operations. So close off these fuckers. Now, so we go to examples. Close off that guy. And there's main. I'm going to put that as well in examples. So this is going to be static void ex1. So the first one, which we've seen already, but we're going to do it again, is filter. Okay. So what does it do? First of all, put it in here. Returns a stream with elements that match a given expression. Takes as an argument a predicate. Okay, so it looks like returns a stream of type T and filter, so it takes a predicate. Now when you see that, that just means it takes an object of type T Okay, so if it's an integer, the predicate is going to act on the integer. If you have a stream of strings, the predicate is going to act on a stream of strings. Okay. Now, so filter. We're going to create a list of strings. And I'm going to call it ape list. So I need to import those two guys. Right. So I'm going to go stream. And it's going to be stream of strings. Okay. And I'm going to call this apes. I have to do this guy. And this is going to be stream.of. I'm going to say monkey. I'm going to say gorilla. I'm going to say bonobo. And I'm going to say marmot. Which I know it's weasel, but whatever. If anyone knows the Big Lebowski, they'll know what that is. All right. So money, gorilla, bonobo, marmot. All right. Now, so I only want to add apes to this array list if they begin with the letter M. Okay, so what I'm going to do is apes dot filter. Okay, so it takes a predicate. So I'm going to put this predicate over okay, yeah, sorry. So we're going to say it takes a, what does it take? It takes a string. So I'll say S. How do I know it takes a string? Because apes is a stream of strings, so S is going to be a string. So what am I checking for? I'm checking that string starts, see it's even coming up there, starts with the word M. Okay. And so our next line is going to be a for each. And what I'm going to do is here for each. So I am going to print off. So it takes a consumer object. So it takes string, and we're going to have 2 lines of code. So I'm just going to go, it's going to print off whatever the string is, and then it's going to add okay, so what's that going to do? That is, this is our stream of apes. Okay, so we go apes.filter. It's only going to deal with those that begin with M. Okay, what's it going to do? It's going to print off the ones that begin with M, and it's going to add them to ape list. And just to prove it, then at the end of it, if I print off ape list at the end of it, we should have just a monkey and a marmot. Oops. So static void, so print that out. Ape list is monkey and marmot. Okay, so you can see using streams is fairly easy to thin out. Now that filter can be as complicated as you want it to be. Okay, you could be calling a method that's doing something specific with the strings. Here I'm just checking to see which ones begin with them. Okay, now I want to do this, but using the collection objects, the collector object. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to create, I'm going to empty out the ape list. Okay, so I'm going to say ape list is equal to put all this above it as well. So I say all of this, and then we do dot collect, and then we do, take this out, I go collector dot, what is it again? I'm forgetting it. Hold on a second. See the last one here. Collectors do collection. So collectors to collection, and it's going to be array list new. Go on to the next line. All right. So what that has done is apes.filter s starts with, and then you go dot collect collectors to collection. So that creates a brand new array list and assigns it to ape list. Okay. Okay. Take that lad out. I don't want to use ape list. Okay. I'm going to create a new array list. New list. All right. So list new list is equal to apes dot filter starts with dot collect collectors to collection array list dot new. That creates a brand new array list. Okay, that creates a brand new array list, which is assigned to this guy. Okay, and I'm going to print off new list. Printing off monkey and marmot. Now we can add things to this list. Macaque. Okay. Now, just to show you one thing here. Let's see. Now, all right. So I created an array list here. So I created an array list here called ape list. Okay. I'm just showing what the change I did. I'll just comment this out for a minute. Now, I created an array list called ape list. It's outside the lambda. Okay. Now it's outside the stream, so I'll go apes dot filter starts with, I got the for each. I'm going to add items to the ape list. Yes? Right. Everything is fine. Now, this line of code here, watch what happens to this guy. Okay, so if I comment out this lad, I'm getting an error. Why? Why is that an error? Sorry? This one, line 41. Watch, I'll comment it out. That doesn't make a difference. No. Now you might remember this. Right. Now these are lambdas, right? Streams are lambdas. Yeah? Yes? Right. Now, they can access local variables that are final or effectively final. That means they haven't been assigned to anything else. Now, an array list, even a final array list, you can add things to it. Okay? But if you reassign the array list to something else, then it's no longer effectively final. Okay, see it there? It's effectively final because it's been assigned to this array list. It hasn't been assigned to any other array list. As soon as you assign it to some other array list, that means it's no longer effectively final. Effectively final means you could put the word final in front of it and you won't get any errors. Okay? Now, if I have here ape list is equal to new array list, can't do that. Put it out, no error. Take out the word final. If I go here, we get an error. Why? Because ape list is no longer effectively final. Is that okay? So effectively final applies to method parameters and local variables, but it does not apply to fields of a class. The age of a pig. Okay, they can change. However, local variables and parameters of a method have to be effectively final. Okay, so that's one advantage that these guys have. Okay, fuck off. That's one advantage these guys have. So that'll create an array list and it's going to add all the numbers to the array list, right? But you can also go down here and it's called new list. Okay, Now you can add things to it. You can also assign a new array list to it. See? No error. You can't do that with this guy. Okay, I created an array list, called it ape list. Nothing in it. Doesn't matter if there's anything in it or not. Okay. You can access it inside a lambda as long as it's effectively final. You can access local variables as long as they're effectively final. You can access method parameters as long as they're effectively final. Variables of a class, fields of a class, that's another name for them, can be accessed inside a lambda, no problem. Okay, you can only access local variables if they're final or effectively final. You can only access parameters of a method if they're final or effectively final. Now, I have changed ape list down here, so that means I can't access it. All right, so I'm going to comment out this guy. Now, if we use collectors to collection method, all right, that creates a brand new array list that's going to be assigned to that guy. Okay, now we can add things to it. We can also assign a new array list to it if you want. Okay, you can't do it with that guy. Okay, so you could argue this is probably better. Maybe it is. I don't know. But for the collect method, in reality, you don't use the big, long, complicated one. That's the one you use. Okay? Your everyday programming, that's the collect method you use, not the other bullshit that's got 2 by collectors or whatever the fuck they are. Alright? That's the one you use. Alright? And what does that do? That creates a collection object and adds all the items of your stream to that collection. Collection object can be an array list, can be a list, a set, or a queue. Now, you can't map them directly to a hash map, but what you can do is you can assign keys to a hash map. You can assign values to a hash map from the stream. Okay? Any questions? And that's us finished for today. Okay? So chill out for the next while, for the next 10-15 minutes, and then you can head on. Oh, Jesus Christ almighty, here for fucking rain.